Allah is coming and telling him, listen, O my Prophet, Yasin, I swear by this Quran, whose strength is that if it were to be revealed on the mountains, they would crumble. I swear upon this Quran, me the Lord of the worlds, that you are from the Mursaleen and you are on the right path. Now over here, and as I was saying, when Allah communicates with the prophets, or when He's referring to the Ahlul Bayt, you find a certain change and certain difference in how He talks to the others. So over here, when He says, إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, that surely you are of the Mursaleen, you are of the prophets, you are of the guided ones, you are of the ones who have been sent to invite people towards my religion, to invite people towards me. And you are ala sirat al-mustaqim, you are upon the sirat al-mustaqim. Compare this. Now this is, we need to understand the difference between the Holy Prophet and ourselves. Here, when we are talking about ourselves as normal human beings, he says, Salat has become wajib upon you. So Salat was made wajib when the Prophet went on Mi'raj. He goes on Mi'raj, Salat is given to the Ummah. In the Salat, the Surah, you have Alhamd in Surah. The Surah is given the option to you. You decide whichever Surah you want in the 4 rakat. But Alhamd needs to be recited in every prayer, the first 2 rakats. There neither you have an option nor I have an option to change. So every day, 10 times you are said you have to recite this surah. This surah consists of this verse, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. O Allah, keep me on the straight path. O Allah, guide me to the straight path. Every day, day in and day out, God says, you, man, is required to remember and keep praying to me. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Keep me on the right path, keep me on the straight path. This is me and you. When it comes to the Holy Prophet, Allah says, Innaka ala sirat al-mustaqim. You are already on the right path. He's coming out and telling them, don't get bothered with what these people say. Don't, because many times when the people would start accusing the Holy Prophet of things that was not correct, he would go forlorn, he would go dejected, his mind would go, he would go gloomy, he would get disappointed, forlorn. When he would get forlorn, at times Jibreel would come to console and talk with him. At times God says, no Jibreel, I will come and talk to you. Innaka lamina al-mursaleen. Ala sirat al-mustaqim. Leave them. I am telling you, I am with you. And so you would find, and you find this normally taking place. Another instance which comes to mind, I'll just explain as to how, when we compare these Ahlul Bayt and the relationship with God, you find him dealing with them in an entirely different setup. In the Quran, there is a dua of Hazrat Ibrahim, that when he is talking and he's communicating, he's had a communication with the kuffar, with the people who used to worship the idols. Then he turns to God and says, these are all nonsense. God, I want to pray to you. Then he starts a long series of prayers. And then he comes to a point. He says, Allahumma. He's talking about to the Lord. The word Allahumma comes from before. Not in the Quran, but he goes on. He starts praying. He reaches a point, a long prayer he has, several sentences. Then he reaches a point. I want to prove how God, when he deals with the Masoom, is different from when he deals with anybody other than the Masoom, the 14 Masoom we are talking about. So Hazrat Ibrahim is saying, give me this, give me this, give me this, you are this, you are this, you treat me when I'm sick, you care for me when I'm in trouble, Fulan, you give me birth, Fulan, Fulan. Then he comes, he says, وَلَا تُخْزِنِ يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ. Oh Allah, do not disgrace me, do not humiliate me on the day when you will raise everybody. يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ. Then he says, you know that day, I realize it, it's a day when nothing will help. لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ. Neither money will help, وَلَا بَنُونَ. Nor relatives will help. لَا تُخْزِنِ. Do not humiliate me, do not lower me in rank. On the day when you will raise everyone, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ. A day when neither money will help, nor relatives will help. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The only thing that will help is when somebody comes with a tranquil heart, when somebody comes with a qalb salim. Qalb salim means somebody comes when he knows he has performed all his obligations to Allah. Qalb salim means somebody is knowing that now his heart is at tranquility. Somebody who knows that when he is now going fustawar bil Kaaba, that is qalb salim. Somebody when he's dying, an old man in the hospital in Tehran, when he's saying, he says, I am now leaving with my heart, the qalb بِإِطْمِنَانِ قَلْبٍ. Imam Khomeini, when he was passing, that's what the final words were. I'm leaving with my heart in peace and tranquility, in serenity, knowing the fact that I fulfill my responsibility. Hazrat Ibrahim says, one who comes to God with qalb salim means qalb with tranquility, with serenity, knowing he has fulfilled all his obligations to God. That is the person now who is successful on the day of judgment. Now this is Ibrahim is asking for himself, that do me this, do me this, do me this, so that I come to you with qalb salim. This is now an Ibrahim talking to God, a Nabi of God talking to God, give me this, give me this. This is one type of communication where an abd of God is seeking something from God. But there's another type of communication in which God comes to the person and says, look, I'm giving this to you. Over here, God tells us every day, recite, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, keep us on the right path. That is us telling us, turn to God, ask. One is God turns to the Holy Prophet and says, you are on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. It's two different things. Yeah, Ibrahim is saying, Kimi qalbi salim. I need to come to you on the day of judgment. If I have to be successful, by qalbi salim. Over there, when Imam Hussein is on the day of Ashura, he's about to die. When he starts fighting the final battle, yeah, Ibrahim is saying, give me itminan of qalb. Give me a qalb that is salim, that is calm, that is serene, so that I come to you in that state. Here on the day of Ashura, Allah turns to Hussein and says, Ya ayyatuha an-nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbika radiyatan mardiya. You see the two different overtones. Here the Nabi of God is asking, send me, but come, allow me to come to you on the day of judgment with qalb salim. This is one thing. One thing is Allah turns to Hussein and says, you've got qalb salim, now you come to me. So you see those differences in specifically with the Ma'asumeen. There are several instances that I can take you out from the Quran, off the cuff, where he tells the people something to do, seek from me, ask me. But when it comes to the Ahlul Bayt, he says, I'm giving you. This is what you have. This is what needs to be done. Surah Dad, one prominent example. But we're moving ahead for that. So here, he's telling us, ask for Sirat al-Mustaqim. He tells the Prophet, you are on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Here when we talk about Sirat al-Mustaqim, we need to realize it's a very important understanding that we need to understand. Many times in this world there are certain things which has an appropriate reflection in the hereafter or in the heavens, in the spiritual world. That means there is something in this world, how do I put it, similar to that, corresponding to that, you have something of the same nature but of a different entity specific to these spiritual realms in the spiritual world.